Was there a lot of tugging in different directions, or were you all pretty much flowing in the same place?
You're never going to find 12 people that are all flowing in the same direction. So,
were there camps, or were different people? What were the dynamics? How was it working out in terms of disagreements?
I think, as far as child abuse and torture, I think there was a fairly large majority that had made the decision, and there was a couple people that held out. Me being one of them, so I can say that because that's my own decision. But same thing happened with torture as well, and then even with murder, it was, we kind of got to this kind of a super majority, and there would be maybe one or two holdouts on
so in the end, with the murder charge, the majority were going in that direction with a couple holdouts in it, but guilt?
Not
guilty. Not guilty. So the majority.
Well, I think in the beginning we were split.
yeah, we were
Barely half
actually
and half.
split half and half.
Everybody
But
crossed sides, I think, and came back. I don't know about
we
everybody,
went back and
but
forth like 3 times.
a lot of people did. Yeah, it wasn't like you just
I was
knew
jumping that fence
instinctively.
like I was a horse.
Very difficult.
Did you think this was taking long from your perspective?
Yeah.
Yes.
We've lost a big chunk of our lives this year.
What was your reaction when the prosecutor didn't cross-examine Jody Springer?
Shocked.
I was very disappointed.
Yes.
Yeah, I think we were disappointed.
And we were all scrambling to get our questions because there was so much there that why isn't he asking? So that was frustrating.
What did you want him to ask? I mean, if you had to narrow it down to 1 or 2 questions, what was really burning in your mind? You can't not question him because I need to know what.
I think that's too hard to answer, at least for me and probably for a couple more people in here. I mean, if you want to answer, you can.
The one thing I would say is this idea that the chaining had only happened for a couple days, and I think that there was enough testimony in other directions that one of the things that had troubled me was that at the same time they were using DHS and their knowledge of the chaining as a defense, along with the fact that it only happened for 2 to 3 days when the DHS reports were, what I believe is 3-4 years prior, and why that wasn't explored. That was really troubling for me. And how I could write a question in that amount of time and kind of get to the points, because it's something that you ask the question and you need to go along with the flow to follow up, and from that perspective I couldn't have done that. So.
That's really a good observation. So what you're saying, if I'm understanding correctly, you're saying that, on the one hand, you can't say this only happened for a couple of days and then go back to old DHS complaints and say, but we were told that it was okay.
Right.
So
Exactly.
Exactly.
You believe that it never happened before that. I see.
Yeah.
Did you maybe notice, I think, when Victor Bland made his summation, and he said that he talked about the bigger table and having them up there, and then said that they should be there as well as the defendants, and basically be accused of the same thing. That, of course, would be chaining, right? And so did you see that in effect was him saying that the chaining had been going on for a long time? That entered into any of your thinking?
Yes.
Not only that, but the fact that they said, that they tried all these other methods and they were working. So then they stopped using them.
Did you want to hear from Marcia?
Not really.
No.
No.
Why?
I'll hold out. I think
I'm holding out.
I would like to have heard from her. I understand as the process that wasn't necessary, but I would like to have heard from her.
I did until about 3 hours ago.
Did you ever get the impression that Marcia was a sole perpetrator, especially since a lot of the testimony tried to indicate that Tony was hardly ever there?
Not being there is not an excuse. He's her dad.
It takes 2 people. If you're in a real marriage, you're working as one.
Yeah.
He had to come home at night. They had to talk about what was going on during the day. I think that he knew what was happening.
Tony, from his testimony, appeared very bright, articulate, educated, and I felt that he was right in and knew what was going on.
He doesn't seem like the type of guy that would have the wool pulled over his eyes,
on the fires itself and Callista's death, did you have any thoughts that it affect you at all, thinking about whether she was alive or dead, or did you, at the time of the, when the, I'm sorry, did she die as a result of smoke inhalation, or was it that she couldn't get away? Did she wake up? Did you think about
I
that?
personally
That's a question.
struggled with that one because I do feel that she woke up, and due to the fact that she was chained, she was unable to get out. So I struggled with that one a lot.
But due to the level of the Benadryl in your system, I don't
a
know that we
question.
could know that.
Yeah.
I think to sleep at night, I have to go back to the medical examiner and his assessment that there was no signs of a struggle, and I have to believe that she was.
Desiree, you seem particularly upset by that.
I
Why? Can you tell us?
I struggled with that, and I think that only thing that actually gives me comfort is actually hoping she was asleep. So
The fire, if any thinking ever center on what started the fire, whether that was, the vacuum was the actual cause, did you have any thoughts about other causes? Did you get into that at all?
There was zero evidence, or I mean, you know, the investigator came to an inconclusive. I don't know how to start to the fire. So I don't think we could even touch that because there was nothing there.
I know. I kind of felt like maybe that direction was, we were trying to go that direction, and you know, to be honest, the murder charge would have been much simpler to come to that if there was an active start to the fire.
Right.
But you know, the
I was
lack of
very
evidence-
disappointed that they didn't find any fire extinguishers, though.
One more question.
A couple of times during testimony, witnesses, I don't know if they were prompted by the prosecution or not, but there was some intimation that the blindness may not have been as severe of a problem, or may not have been much of a problem at all. Did you talk about that?
Yep.
Yes.
definitely,
What was there sort of a consensus among you about that?
I don't think that she was as blind as they want us to believe that she was, for the simple fact that when she was going to the ambulance after the fire, the EMT worker was trying to help her walk to the ambulance, and she said, "Oh, I'm not that blind."
One more. What would it have taken, do you believe, for you to have found guilty to first degree murder?
More evidence.
More evidence.
Anything in particular?
We didn't really have a lot for the day of the fire. We had accounts of what happened after rescue arrived on the scene, but the only account we had to go by what happened in the house was Marcia's interview with Detective Mike Scott, and that was it. So
We would have liked a timeline from when she got up that morning until the time that the first responders were there.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
You've done a very nice service.
Thank you.
Do we ask just what they do in life? Is that okay to do?
It's up to you if you want.
I'm a stay-at-home mom.
Can we go across in that way? And if you don't feel like it, that's.
Go ahead.
I work at State Farm Insurance as a claim representative.
I'm in HR at Bronson Healthcare Group.
I'm a photographer.
I'm a dispatcher for FedEx Express in Grand Rapids.
I'm a waitress and a bartender.
Finance manager.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks.